Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today. How do you track your team's innovation efforts? However that is, we've got an easier way. Let us introduce Playbook. Playbook is Plug and Play's innovation software. It is an exclusive tool only available for our ecosystem's corporate partners. With it, you and your team will be able to browse your curated startups database, create, discover, and rate lists of startups, track your engagement, pilots, and investments, analyze data from the tech ecosystem, organize private sessions with select startups, and so much more. Hundreds of corporations count on Playbook to empower their innovation journey. Get in touch to start using Playbook today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to our Munich Winter Summit featuring FoundHer. We are very glad to see everyone on the line today. It's really a shame that we're not able to meet and connect in person, but I'm sure for a cause as important as this, it really does not matter where you are in this world, where you're dialing in from. What's really important is that our hearts and minds come together in the support of women in entrepreneurship, innovation, and tech. We're here in our studio today, here in Munich office. My name is Jessica. I'm from Singapore.
And my name is Jiska Reis, originally from Brazil.
And we'll be your moderators for today.
Exactly. So maybe let's start talking a little bit about FoundHer. FoundHer is an initiative created by Plug and Play as we want to better support our female founders and corporate partners everywhere. We want them to have access to investors, mentors, and entrepreneurs, of course. And we aim to increase opportunities for women in startups or in innovation by providing them the right resources and obviously building better connections. So today, as we see, we have people from all over the world joining us. Let's start with our first interaction as a warm-up. Please let us know where you're dialing in from. You can find a chat in your right-hand corner of your screen. Near the stage, you will find a chat session. Please let us know where you're dialing in from. If you're, of course, dialing in from Brazil or even Singapore, leave us a little heart emoticon. And yeah, we can check it out where everybody is dialing from. Okay, we see here, of course, Germany. So hi, Germany, everyone.
We have people saying that they're from Schwabing.
Schwabing, yeah, that's another part.
Very specific to here in Munich. Chemnitz, Neuss, a lot of German cities I've never been to, so definitely need to add it to my bucket list or to-do list, I would say.
Yeah, thank you for your participation. No hearts so far, but
we know that we need to kind of avoid all of the cold weather here. A lot of people in Singapore and Brazil probably need to send us the warmth that they have.
Yes.
But, so to start with Munich Winter Summit proper, please. Oh, look at that. We have someone from Brazil, Jessica.
Yes.
Not
finally,
too bad.
My community supporting here today.
From UK and Zurich as well. So hello, everyone. Keep the responses coming in. We would love to hear from you. But to start the event proper, we are so glad to showcase FoundHer as our special Day Zero element. Tomorrow, we'll hear from our brand and retail and insurtech startups and speakers. And lastly, to wrap up Munich Winter Summit, our health colleagues will be having their Startup Career Expo on February 3rd. But you might ask, what exactly do we have planned for today for the next 2 hours? Well, just to tell you and let you know, we have a very well-packed agenda. First up, we have a Women in Tech panel. We'll hear from 3 prominent ladies from different walks of life on their experiences and what advice they would give to other women in the industry. Then we have 4 very amazing female founders who will be pitching more about their company. And to wrap up the event and ultimately to foster a collaborative environment, we have 2 breakout sessions around topics like values, company culture, and fundraising. So Jessica, I see that we have a lot of new faces in the audience, new people to our platform and to our ecosystem. Can you share with us a little bit more about Plug and Play so that we can get the ball rolling on today's event?
Of course, Jessica, my pleasure. So at Plug and Play, our goal is to help the world progress throughout innovation and connection. And that is because Plug and Play is the biggest open innovation platform nowadays. We're also very active early stage investors, and we are proud to have invested in multiple startups that are today unicorns. Our innovation platform and actually services, they may be divided in 3 buckets: innovation programs, corporate innovation, and also venture capital, which is, of course, our investment branch. For the first 2, we count with the help and collaboration of more than 500 corporate partners everywhere in the world. So 500 big companies that want to innovate every day more. With them, we have hosted over 60 annual innovation programs everywhere, as we also have offices everywhere. And for that reason, our venture capital activities also follow suit, with many investments every year and with a couple of our unicorns that we can check it out right now, maybe. Yes. So with all of this expertise in innovation and connecting always the right corporate partners to the correct startups, we were able to back some of the best startups out there. Some of the names in there may resonate with you all, such as PayPal, Happy, N26, Hippo, and so on. This is obviously a list that we want to be increasing every year more. Of course, that innovation is truly anywhere and also in every industry. So Plug and Play currently drives multiple innovation programs in different verticals, actually more than 18. As you can see here, we can drive innovation in healthcare, in brand and retail, media, fintechs, and so on. And actually here in the Munich office where we're speaking from today, specifically we run the verticals of brand and retail, insurtech, and of course, healthcare. All of this, Munich is only one of the many of the offices that we have around the world. We count today with more than 40 offices around the world, all of them specifying one type of vertical, as I mentioned before, or multiple ones, as we have here in Munich. This is how the magic happens, because of our expertise, we're able to run cross-vertical projects every year, such as in healthcare with sustainability, for example, or brand and retail with logistics, you name it. That's how the magic happens. And as we're kicking off today from Munich, let's talk a little bit about Germany. Munich is one of the offices that we have here in Germany. We're also in Hamburg, Stuttgart, and Düsseldorf, but specifically in Munich, as we run the insurtech, health, and brand and retail verticals. We are very proud to have over 24 partners, some of them such as Rohr, Accenture, Starkgruppe, Cosnova, Balois, AOK, and so on. We've been running together more than 250 batch startups, which is impressive. And of course, we just want to continue on this rhythm. To finalize here, a little bit about Plug and Play, you can see a very fun picture of our last all hands. These are all the faces that make it happen here in the MEA, of course. So just a small snapshot because we're also having offices in other places in the world. But yeah, this is our expert team, which does an excellent job, but as well, they all have a lot of fun. I'm proud to be part of this team, actually. So yeah, this is a couple of words on us. Let's actually start our event, Jess. Giving the word back to you.
Yeah, I especially love this all hands picture. You can really feel the energy and power knowing that there are so many great minds behind Plug and Play. But for now, let's crack on with the event proper. And with that, I would like to introduce our Women in Tech panel and our featured speakers, of course. First up, we have Nour, founder and CEO of our portfolio company, Upsurance. Sonja, managing director of MediaMarktSaturn, longstanding partner of us here in Munich. and Günes, Zero Impact Entrepreneur. Moderating today's panel is our very own Frederike, Head of Plug and Play Munich and Global Director of Startup Creosphere. Now, with that being said, I would like to hand it over to Frederike.
Thank you, Jessica and Jiskia. I love the energy in the studio, and it's an honor for me to moderate the panel here today. And with me here on the panel, as already mentioned, we have Günes, Sonja, and Nour. So welcome, Günes. I see you. Sonja, Nour, thank you. Lovely to see you, and thank you for dialing in. And as Jessica has already mentioned, we would love to hear more about your story and how you came to where you are today, and what your take is on this topic. So thank you for joining, and I would like to just jump right into it. So good to have you here. Welcome. First, let's start with you, Nour. Maybe you can share a little bit with the audience what you're doing and how you came to found Upsurance and what your plan is.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for organizing such a great event and for inviting me. Very, very happy to be here. My name is Nour. I'm the founder and CEO of Upsurance. My background actually before founding Upsurance was as a VC investor, where I focused on B2B marketplace and SaaS startup, specifically disrupting traditional industries. I'm now building Upsurance, which is a B2B marketplace that is digitizing and automating commercial insurance. Very excited to be here and about participating with the panel with Günes and Sonja.
Thank you, Nour, and also a great role model to all the female founders here with us today. Günes, to you, serial entrepreneur, social businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what moves you? That would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here. I'm a serial entrepreneur. That means I see problems and I want to provide solutions that work in practice, not just theoretically in my mind. And that's what I want. Is my motivation is I want to found businesses that bring money and impact. For me, that is essential. And therefore, I founded D. MacGyver's, a consultancy company for founders, Mommy Kreisel, now Wintered, secondhand platform for baby stuff, some kindergartens for my own kids and others. But my newest projects are the Community Kitchen Munich. It's the third most effective activity in climate protection to save food. And that's what we are doing. We're rescuing food, preparing meals, and selling them to people. And that's what I'm doing. I think the most effective way to change the world is to be a role model. And I think people will tell about Günes, she's just doing it. And that's what I'm standing for.
Great. Thank you. Just do it. That's a great motivation or mantra, so to say. And also, to solve problems. And also, Sonja, talking about solving problems, it would be great if you can introduce yourself, long-term friend of Plug and Play, accompanying us here in Munich for a long time, and also the managing director of MediaMarktSaturn Next, also problem solving there. It'd be great to learn what you're doing there and how you came also to this position.
Yes, a lot of questions. I try to answer some of them.
I can repeat them.
Sure. I'm leading MediaMarktSaturn Next, which is a subsidiary of MediaMarktSaturn. And we focus on understanding new technologies and the related use cases to understand how they work, if they are relevant, and if so, what does it take to scale for the organization. And in that context, we build a bridge between startups and the corporate world for, on the one side, open up doors for startups to enter corporates, and on the other side, make sure that we basically prepare our colleagues with new things that are happening outside, and also support them in doing projects with startups, which are typically a little bit different than the usual corporate projects you do.
Okay, thank you very much. That sounds very interesting. And you already touched a bit on the collaboration approach and that you like to cooperate also with different stakeholders. And Nour, in that regard, as a startup, what is your take on collaborations? And what obstacles do you also see there, and do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, that's a very great question. I think specifically in B2B collaboration, really across the board between startups, corporates, and even industry stakeholders is actually pretty important. Now, the main challenges from my perspective actually lie in identifying what we call the ideal customer profile at each stage of the company's life, and then in connecting with the right champions like Sonja and Günes and decision makers at these companies. Now, from my perspective, as you are aware, companies come in different sizes. They have different priorities. They operate at different speed, unlike startups. They have different cultures as well. Now, what collaboration effectively means is it changes a customer pitch from a pitch into actually an active conversation. In practice, what this means is having people at these companies that will advocate for you and will help you navigate, some pretty large organizations to actually get to the right decision makers at the company. Now, in order to get to these champions in the first place, in my experience, what I've found to be really helpful is actually to network with stakeholders. In insurance, my industry, for example, some stakeholders are the regulator, the press, industry associations, industry journals. Now, my advice for other founders, and this is specific to B2B, is to network relentlessly, get to know people, understand what motivates them, help them out, add value, and to identify the ideal customer profile very early on and to iterate in that as the company grows.
Okay. Thank you, Nour. That's great advice there, and I hope people are taking notes here. And also, I'm sure you can reach out talking about network afterwards to Nour here. Sonja, now from your angle as a corporate and as kind of the best champion I think a startup can have, what is your advice and what is your take on open collaboration and corporate innovation in the end? But we heard from Nour about how it is as a startup side on how to approach it. But with your long experience in the corporate innovation space, in this responsible role, what is your take? You once said collaboration is critical for the success for everyone in the ecosystem.
I think so. Yeah. Definitely, and I can just underline what Nour just said. And actually, we do the same thing as Nour does, just as an innovation unit. So having a very diverse network, not only to startups and also internally into our corporate. We speak cross-industry with different companies. We speak within retail, but also outside retail. We speak with innovation companies. We speak with universities and so on. So very, very different players where we just have connections into our ears, our eyes, and can sometimes we get good advice, good startups advice, which we should check out. And very often they also help, for example, to understand topics or to get a view, an outside view on things. So networking and collaborating with really different stakeholders is super important.
Okay, thank you, Sonja. Günes, talking about different stakeholders. I mean, you collaborate with many different stakeholders as well, and I have a little bit of a hard statement, but some say that social entrepreneurship is not a lifetime career because it is not generating so much capital. How do you see this? And is this a provocation for you?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. I think this is old thinking. It's like social means charity to many people. But the interesting thing is doing classical business, like providing food to people, processing a cheap car and going into a fight about prices is for me not really curious, not very adventurous. For me, important is what I give in, I want to get out. Money, energy, time. despite that, I want to make an impact. So for the new generation of social and eco entrepreneurs, it's about investments, big investments, new unicorns, and making impact with that. Because understanding that you don't take limited resources, but take resources that are all over the world, like waste, food waste, for example. Yeah, it's something where we'll never fight with somebody else about lithium. There is food waste all over the world. So why don't take it, processing it, selling it? You save money on storytelling. Press media loves you. You have customers that love your product because of the impact you give. You don't go about the price, you go about the story you tell, the impact you enable them to do. And you have employees because of the purpose. So everybody who wants to have a business model of the future has to rethink if classical business is really the key. I think it's not, because we are walking up away from just wanting food, a living place, and money, up to what can I give? What is my purpose on this earth? And understanding this, every business should rethink its business model. And yes, I love this question because it shows me where people are. And I would say at the end of time, you can make a lot of theories, you can talk a lot of structure, of systems, but at the end, two people make business. And this is important to understand. Whatever you do on product or service level, rethink with whom do I business to, and am I able to be authentic on that? So, yeah, interesting.
Yes, very interesting. And you're right. We are all people talking to each other, working with each other, and committing to a certain purpose. And purpose, as you said, is getting more and more important. And also in that aspect, coming also again to the topic of FoundHer today and female empowerment. Sonja, looking into the future, how do you envision to support young women making their word in the corporate space, so to say, climbing up the ladder? Yeah, what do you have in mind?
Not only mine, actually, what we're setting up at the moment is an initiative we call Women in Retail at MediaMarktSaturn, where we aim to support women in our organization to climb up the ladder, if you want so. So it's all about gender diversity and supporting female careers. So we equal numbers on management level. So that's the vision. And we have identified 3 areas or levers which we focus on. So one is awareness, because even so we all think we are all super aware of the topic. We're not aware of our own biases. We don't talk enough about it. We don't talk about systematical biases and so on and so on. So it's a lot about awareness as one topic. Next area is organization and processes, because if you don't do changes there, you won't change a lot. You might just change a little bit. And the last area is all about inspiration and networking, empowerment, if you want to say so. So these are 3 areas where we have set up a full-fledged program, if you want so. And we're actually starting to communicate just these upcoming days. So very exciting times coming up.
That's really great. And fresh news.
Fresh news, yeah. So we're not only talking about it, so it's actually a lot of stuff has already happened and is about to happen. So that's super cool. And it's very exciting to also see the motivation of so many other women within our organization to push it forward.
Yeah.
And men, by the way. So it's not only women.
That's good, including. That's good. Okay, great. No, that's a really good initiative. And as you said, it's not just talking, but actually doing in these 3 pillars. And that's a great approach. And thank you for sharing this with us. It's definitely an inspiration, I'm sure, to other companies to keep track there.
Yeah, happy to also share with others how we did it, because it was really a test and learn approach. So we tried by ourselves. So I'm happy to share what we
Thank
did
you.
and how we did it.
Yes, so to the audience here, you see again, please reach out to Sonja to learn more about how to actually implement this into the organization. Thank you, Sonja. Nour, now to build on that, what do you hope to build that can change the perspective of female founders in the financial space and insurance space that you are in?
Thanks, Frederike. Actually, I'd like to rephrase that question a little bit.
Please.
I actually want to solidify the perspective of female founders in fintech. I think if we look back at 2021, it was a phenomenal year for female founders, specifically on the exit side. And that's really when, push comes to shove, you truly see the massive value creation created already by female founders. I mean, the total value of exit last year only was about 10 billion euros. Now, the second most active space after healthcare was in fintech. Now, this is something to be really excited about and very proud of. I mean, female founders have already paved the way. Now, from my perspective, it's up to this generation to continue building great businesses that push the status quo, that use new technologies, new approaches, new business models to generate true customer value and to finally move that last part of finance into the digital world. Now, this is where it actually gets really exciting because that's where fundamentally the true opportunities lie in changing the future of finance as we know it. By digitizing and automating various parts of fintech, you actually get to unlock and capture and utilize data. Now that allows for a lot of really cool things such as predictive analytics, in our perspective, predictive underwriting. And it's exciting times ahead. And I think it wouldn't have been possible without other really awesome female founders operating in fintech and other industries. Now, my hope is to be one of many female founders that are solidifying this perspective.
Okay, thank you for your honest answer here. And my takeaway is it's a good status quo already, and now we need to push the status quo, and then it's up to this generation to keep track and to push further. And pushing further, Günes, talking about what you're building and have been building, how would you encourage more women to be entrepreneurs? Because it's great, Nour, that you say we have already a lot of out there, but also in my network, for instance, I still see that there is sometimes a bit courage missing here and there, and that they want partners and to be in a community, so to say. So what would you want to do?
I have to say that for me, encouraging is one of the most important things. I think in Germany, every kid knows that it's possible to be a Bundeskanzlerin, to be a president of a country, because they have seen that for several years. And that's what I always tell to other women. Hey, please be courage, just not for yourself, also for others. Second, under women, we need solidarity. That means I know too many women that say, oh, I would support you, but 5% I'm missing something. And I feel like, hey, 95%, it's yours. So just do it. We have everything we need to succeed in life. We are born as winners because the one sperm out of millions reached the egg and boom, the baby occurred. So we are all born as winners. So the moment you are afraid of something, it will just give you the focus. Look on that, watch that. You have to solve it and you can do that. But you are already a winner. Second, women always have their eyes and ears open. They listen too much. They see too much issues. Sometimes it's good to close them. So often people tell me, Günes, you're so stupid. You can't do that. And I feel like, why? Who tells me that I can't do that? Why can't I take in Munich 42,000 square meters and develop one of the biggest social, educational, and cultural places for peoples? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting there doing that. Don't be afraid. What can happen? I have a disabled brother. He has Down syndrome. And there was a time when he already died, and he didn't. He's still alive and very funny. But these years were very hard for me. And now, the moment I feel like I'm not brave enough, the moment I feel fear, I always ask one question. Is somebody dying of it? No, then just do it. And I think sometimes it's important, visibility, solidarity, and perspective. Who am I? What can I do? Look from the bird perspective and see that you're able to do it because you're born as a winner.
Thank you, Günes. I think this is very inspiring, and also for bringing the human touch to it. And as I think this is a very important point. So I will book a session with you to tackle all the goals we're having here. I think it's really motivating and encouraging as well. And I would like to thank the three of you bringing in, I mean, you are all role models, I think, and we said how important that is to the next generation of female founders, anyone also, to make your way in the world. So I'm bringing in your personal angle here from each side. And as a closing remark, and I mean, Günes, you have already mentioned quite a lot of sentences here, but if you have one sentence from each of you for your encouragement to start this business or to start being in the innovation space, what you could share. No pressure, it can be 2 sentences as well. That would be great. And Sonja, I would like to start with you.
I would love to pick up a lot of stuff that Günes just said. I will reference to the very beginning. Actually, just do it. Just do it. Don't think too much. And the second advice I would give is build yourself a network. To challenge yourself, but also to support yourself, because you will need support along the way. I personally have underestimated network when I was younger. It just happened, but I didn't purposely invest a lot of time into it. I think from my perspective now, it's like the most important thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Günes, I know you already shared a couple of sentences, but if you have one more, or you can repeat it.
Yeah, I have to say it goes into the direction of Sonja. For me, is change your environment if you don't feel brave enough. So you are what your environment is. So if you can't handle it, if you can't just do it, then it's perhaps your environment. Change it. And if you can't do it, call me.
That's good. Thank you. Okay. And then Nour, last but not least, we would love to hear your 2 cents on this as well.
Yeah, first of all, I echo 100% Günes's and Sonja's perspective. I think they've said it best. So I'll just keep mine brief, and it has to do with time. And a lot of founders really struggle with that in terms of the right answer is there's no right time, and only time and what you choose to do with it. And so that's my 2 cents on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Günes, Sonja, Nour, for your time today and for sharing this with us. It was a great pleasure. I hope everyone from our team also listened, because there's lots of great takeaway here for us, and also for the female founders that will present right after this. And I hope that Günes, Sonja, and Nour have the time to stay a little bit in the networking to connect, because we also learned that that's important. And with that being said, thank you very much. Have a lovely day and see you hopefully soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before we jump right to the female founders pitches that we are very much looking for, we want to also mention that we here are all very privileged. And today it's all about female founders, and that we are able to build businesses, and that we can have this courage. But also on the other side of the spectrum, there are still young girls that are not that fortunate and that are lacking education. And therefore today we would like to also support the Desert Flower Foundation, and you will learn a little bit more about what they do in a very short video. Thank you. So if you would like to donate, there is a little QR code here. So just take out your smartphone. It's just a little idea we had in the cause of female founders to also support education where it's not yet there. So thank you very much again for this. And with that, we're handing it back to the studio. Thank you very much.
Hello, we're back. Thank you, Frederike, and thank you very much to all the panelists. And thank you again, Frederike, for shedding some light on this important cause. Yeah, it's a very sad one, but hopefully we can improve it. So this was a great start already for a FoundHer Day Zero. Great topics there, great insights. So right up next, I'm happy to announce that we'll have our startup pitches. Obviously, all of them led by women. So we'll be having Teresa Hock, co-founder of Econos.
Dr. Anna Herzig, CEO of Nyris.
Hannah Samano, founder and CEO of Unfabled.
And Magdalena Linke-Kozek, founder and CEO of herimpact. In order to make the startup pitches a little bit more interactive, please submit your questions via the Q&A functionality. Our speakers will be able to directly reply your questions via the Hopin platform. Or if you want to go the extra mile, simply write them a direct message and schedule a time to connect after today's event. Additionally, after each startup pitch, we will be launching a poll asking you if you would like to get in touch with the startup. If you have selected yes, which we can only recommend for you to do so, the Plug and Play team will put you in direct contact after the event. You can easily find the polls on the right-hand side of the screen next to the chat or Q&A button. Just simply click on poll and then you will see it.
Great. I'm already super excited to hear all the startups up next. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Econos, private and uncomplicated digital green investment company. Teresa, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here. I'm not quite sure if you can see my slides. If
No,
not.
No.
Now we do.
Now we do.
Perfect. So yes, my name is Teresa. I'm the co-founder of Econos. And this is the number that I get up for every morning, as well as my team does. The 50 trillion net zero investment gap that we need in sustainable measures, both nature-based and technology-based, in order to reach our common climate goals. And actually, when I started my career at the United Nations in New York, I was of the complete opposite view, namely that international diplomacy is needed. But actually, capital allocation and investments do change what we're doing. They lead to disruption. You know from the investment space and venture capital as well, where we invest capital, we get to work and things start to change. So the problem with that is the most impactful investments are mainly big private assets that the normal investor and private investor like you and I don't have access to. So big financial institutions and banks, etc., are going into that space and quite dramatically, which is good. At the same time, the biggest opportunities, also from a wealth creation perspective, is kind of leaving out a big proportion of society and then also a big additional pool of capital. That's what we're changing with Econos. We bring alternative green investment opportunities basically to any portfolio. So maybe in a nutshell, how do we do this? Technology, really. So we use blockchain and tokenization technology in order to cut down big illiquid assets such as forests that are sustainably managed, but then also projects in the renewable energy space, also venture capital into small pieces that makes it investable to anyone out there. It provides access to the same assets and to the same returns and opportunities, to the same impact to small investors such as biggers. It's a low-cost technology, so it's a sizable but still a manageable amount of money versus, for instance, very expensive ESG bonds and ESG ETFs that you see out there in the world right now. It's 100% digital, so within 5 minutes you can complete the process of investing. And it brings in an additional perspective into an illiquid market. It brings in liquidity and the probability and the ability to interchange tokens in the future, providing additional USP for private investors. Our current portfolio is quite interestingly structured. So from a portfolio investment perspective, you want to have different risk and return opportunities, but you also care about each individual areas of climate change, maybe based on your personal perspective, based on what you care for our society. It's like casting a vote, really. So for instance, we do have forest investments that is very popular in the big and professional investment space, but private investors with Econos can invest in those too. But we also have, as I said, venture capital investments that focus on climate tech. So I think that's in a nutshell what we do at Econos. We founded in 2021 in July, actually, last year, so pretty young. We're a team of around 20 people in Munich, growing fast. And if you want to learn more about Econos, please reach out, and I'd be happy to hear how you are investing with what impact in your portfolio.
Thank you, Teresa. What an insightful pitch. We'll now launch a poll asking if the audience would like to get in touch with Teresa. So just click on poll on the right-hand corner of your screen and you'll see it popping up right about now. And we can only highly recommend for you to say yes, because Teresa, what an inspiring story and also inspiring company for sure. And thank you so much for the pitch.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And while all of you in the audience group vote on that, I would like to introduce our next startup and also plug-and-play portfolio company, Nyris. Nyris is a visual search platform that gives people a more natural way to find what they are looking for. And with that, do we have Anna on the line?
Hi, here I am.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna. Can you try speaking again? I think there are some issues with your microphone.
Hi, plug and play. Here I am, Anna.
Not really. It sounds pretty robotic.
Yeah, it's still a little robotic. Let's try again. Now you're on mute, of course. Mute again. Yeah. Maybe she will try different.
Now, I hope it's better now.
Yay!
Perfect. Yes,
perfect.
great.
That worked. Stage is yours, Anna.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you for being part of this event and for all the inspiration we had already. So yeah, Nyris is a visual search engine, meaning we are very much convinced that the communication in the future needs to change, and we as humans need to find other ways to communicate with machines and to let machines communicate with other machines. And here we believe in visual communication. So we believe that if you transfer pictures, you can transfer much more data in much less time, and this way you are much more efficient. And that's what we do. And if you see like the first issue we see as a first one of the main use cases we approach, where the problem gets very, very visible, is the recognition of spare parts and products. So what you see here in the picture are 3 different spare parts. Those parts need to be recognized and identified every day, millions of times by millions of different technicians all over the world, and they can't really put words around them. So if you try to find keywords to describe a part like that, you will be not successful. So we enable those people to just snap those parts and identify the product directly. And we do it very fast. We integrate it on a global scale in more than 50 countries, and answer more than 20 requests every second. So during the pitch, our engine will answer more than 3,000 requests already and have a very stable operation of above 99.99%. And one very specific of Nyris is that we're able to work with pure synthetic data. I can give you more details on that, but this gives us a great flexibility and enables us to work with companies who don't own picture data yet. We have different use cases, mainly in the B2B sector, some in the B2C sector as well, and in general, increasing sales volumes, increasing efficiency, and decreasing time you need to find information and search for information. And have quite plenty numbers of customers all over the world. One of our largest customers is IKEA. Our business model is very, very straightforward. So we sell a license that enables our customers to use our engine for a specific amount of requests. And the standard license is 5,000 euro per month. And yeah, that's where we aim for. So we want to reach 70 million ARR in 4 years. We are now at 1.5 and have quite a clear plan how to do it. And what we are now in is to raise our next round. This will be 10 to 15 million. We are now in active fundraising, have 6 million committed already. And yeah, are happy to get in touch with other potential investors. So that's for us. I'm very happy to get in touch with you. Ping me if you have any questions, and ping me as well if you would like to use our product. Always happy to talk and discuss it as well.
Thank you, Anna. It's always great to have you here. And for all the attendees right now, let us know if you would like to get in touch with Nyris. A poll will be popping on your screen in a couple of seconds, and please do so. Nyris is one of our portfolio companies, so we're more than happy that more people every day are reaching them all the time. Okay, so next up we have Unfabled, and Unfabled is, in their own words, rewriting the period care story. So please, Hannah, tell us a little bit more about that, and the stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Let's just get my presentation up. Okay, if you could just let me know if you can see my screen, that would be great.
We do, looks great.
Perfect, great, thank you. So hi, I'm Hannah, the founder and CEO of Unfabled, and I'm excited to share how Unfabled is changing how people think about and shop for their periods by rewriting menstrual care as a core part of wellness. Last January, I went to the supermarket to buy tampons, and the aisle looked like this. They were also right next to pet food. So no wonder almost 2/3 of people are embarrassed by their periods when this is what the shopping experience is like. When you dig a little deeper, it gets worse. Mainstream menstrual products are toxic to people and planet. Pads are 90% plastic, tampons and pads are bleached and contain toxic chemicals. And these products can take up to 1,000 years to decompose. Sustainable and non-toxic products exist, but these products can be hard to find, and there isn't a single platform to aggregate and compare them. But there's a bigger problem at play here. Quite simply, menstrual care and symptom care is excluded from the wellness industry. For people with periods, the consumer experience is fragmented and outdated. Wellness excludes menstrual care, and menstrual care excludes wellness. Okay, there we go. So how many people does this affect? Well, half the global population will have a menstrual cycle for 40 years of their life. 90% of them have difficult symptoms in relation to their period every month. For context, that means 1.8 billion people right now could be having period cramps, breakouts, anxiety, stress, or poor sleep in relation to their cycle. That's why we built Unfabled, the world's first wellness platform for cycle care. We provide personalized e-commerce for menstrual care, symptom care, and self-care, building the first wellness brand that puts menstrual health at its core. Our community can finally find products to support their holistic wellness all in one place, from skincare to menstrual care to CBD and relaxation. No more random tampons next to pet food. We're the first platform that allows people to discover products based on their menstrual symptoms, so our users can find products uniquely suited to their needs. All our brands are sustainable and non-toxic too, so they're kind to both our bodies and to the planet. Our content hub is also a place for our community to learn about menstrual and hormonal health and to help them think holistically about how their lifestyle choices and products can improve their symptoms. Where we're headed is further personalization. Unfabled will capture data about the user's menstrual symptoms, lifestyle, and product preferences, and recommend products personalized to each person's unique needs. We're already capturing unprecedented data about menstrual care consumer habits, but this product development will enable us to understand the modern consumer better than anyone has ever done before. Our vision is ambitious. Our goal is to revolutionize the consumer experience from first period through to menopause by building the first global wellness brand and platform that puts menstrual and hormonal health at its core. Unfabled becomes an omni-channel ecosystem through both online and experiential retail, which we're starting to make a reality by piloting pop-up retail locations in London that can quickly be expanded to larger footprints and other locations. In terms of the opportunity, the time is now. Femtech is estimated to be a $60 billion industry within the next 5 years, with some new estimates predicting a $1 trillion opportunity. Unfabled cuts across and ties together some of the fastest growing global markets. When we launched just 10 months ago, we sold out in our first week. Since then, we've attracted 22,000 active users, and our repeat rate is really exciting at 38%. On the brand partner side, we've secured 28 partnerships with well-respected brands, which continues to grow. In September, we closed a 265K pre-seed round, which was oversubscribed, and since then, we've unlocked 30% month-on-month revenue growth. We have world-leading strategic partners too. We were selected to join the world's leading femtech startup accelerator, Femtech Lab, and we've also secured a partnership with GSK and RGA, who are working to strengthen and scale Unfabled through their global network. So, why this team? I worked in global e-commerce innovation at Unilever, where I launched the first in-house D2C brand, and then went on to launch Africa's largest femtech company, acquiring 320,000 users in 1 year. We have a world-class team building Unfabled, with experience from Netflix, Vogue, and the NHS, and high-profile angel investors. We've tapped into something powerful here. Our customers become our advocates, and in just under a year, our social media has had almost 1 million impressions. We have a community of over 3,500 engaged people who we constantly use for instant feedback and surveying. We want to build on this momentum now. We're launching our seed fundraising in Q2 in order to develop our product and technology to build our personalized product recommendation engine. Our seed round will also allow us to invest further into marketing and scaling our e-commerce operations. If you're interested in joining the Unfabled journey, please just drop me an email. I'd really love to connect. Thank you for listening and for being here today. I'm the founder of Unfabled, and we're rewriting the story about menstrual care. Hopefully you saw everything. I had a small technical issue, which is always the way in a live show.
Yeah, no worries. We hear you fine. But thank you so much for the pitch. Jiska and I definitely have some online shopping to do after today's event. But thank you so much. Last but not least, we have our last startup on the line, herimpact. Herimpact is a community-based platform aiming to inspire, educate, and support young and ambitious women. It shall serve as a one-stop shop platform for women career development, both for individuals as well as for employers. And with that, we're handing it over to Magdalena.
Yes, hello. 1 second, I will share my screen. Yes. You should see it now. Can you please confirm?
Yeah, just a couple more seconds, perhaps. Yes.
All right. It's visible. Okay, perfect. So yes, good morning. Good evening, actually. My name is Magdalena Koszek, and I am a founder and CEO of herimpact. Herimpact is an education and community-driven HR. And to start with, I see every day the number of GDP in Poland could be 9% better if we make world better place for women to work in. it could be its equivalent of almost 300 billion Polish zloty a year. It's also similar in other countries. But taking it to macro perspective, we all know that current education, the level of education in schools and in universities is not well enough for especially women. For example, imagine a young girl now in her 20s leaving high school and thinking about her college and further career in labor market. She's usually terrified. She does not know what she's good at and what kind of future is coming for her, especially now when we have pandemic and we have online education, when we know that the results of online education is still getting worse and worse. Our problem that we want to the current problem that we want to solve is definitely that women are still less represented. So this young girl still does not have any representation in women who can be mentors for her, or who can give her a path or a way that she will see in the future that she can become successful somehow. The solution that we are building since 2 years is herimpact platform. It shall serve as the first recruiting platform for women based on education and on community. Our value proposition lays from the situation that we indicate in every market. We indicate the most popular sectors for women to participate in labor market. For example, finance, consulting, IT, and operation in Poland. Then we enable most women as possible to become part of herimpact. Currently, we have 40,000 women who are participating for free. And then these women goes from various levels, engagement levels. For example, they go from mentoring sessions, online courses, soft skills, hard skills. They learn also during mentoring sessions. We have 150 experts. So we have all community built on the content that we offer in the platform. And the last engagement level, the third level, is the job offers. So this is what we are aiming for. We are aiming that our users are now from whole engagement levels coming to the last one to find a good job for them and to find successful employment. And what is more, this is how we are also building a strong community, that we have give back culture. So the absolvents, so women who already find a job, are coming back to our community to becoming experts, to helping women on the first levels, and to becoming also mentors for them, and to become also the representation that the women are willing to find in her first steps in the career. Here you can see also the levels. So we start from I know that I don't know. So definitely this woman in her 20s, when she does not know what she wants to do in her life in the future. Then she's doing competency tests, mentoring sessions, courses, softs and hard skills, and then becoming an expert level. And our business model is based on B2B. So companies can indicate whenever they want, when they want to search for the employees. Today we are selling CVs, but this is what we are aiming for the future, and we already started to do it. That we are going to sell not only CVs to the companies, but also we want to encourage companies to understand more about our users. So how they communicate how they are engaged in communication in our platform, what tests did they do, what competency tests results did they receive. So we are aiming much more. It's currently building that our companies would like to have a little bit more information on the employees from our community. And our great PR that we already had in Poland and sales process are the keys to achieve and to grow our B2B platform. Our main deals are from HR deals. So this is also our goal for the future to go this way. And for example, we have some activation that I can present that we did with our partners, that for example, with McKinsey or BCG, we have reached more than 150,000 users during only 1 month of our activation. And also we have reached thousands of CVs, consulting based, and CVs not only just sold CVs, but also with some more information about the women. So the company could have a woman who is kind of ideal candidate. So not only experienced, but also somehow trained by herimpact. And those are our greatest advantages up to date, that we have engaged users that are today's friends and tomorrow co-workers in the companies. We also support high potential sectors. So definitely in Poland, it's, for example, IT, operations, or finance. We have this give back culture community that are supporting one another. I mentioned 4,000 users, and we have ambassadors who are partnering with us and sharing our idea wider in the corporates. So just to imagine that we publish everyday engaging content, and women from, for example, can go from just 1 like on Instagram, that we currently have 1 million reach in our social media. So from 1 like to Instagram, she can get a job on our community, on our platform. And here is herimpact in numbers. As I mentioned, 1 million views, and also more than 40K active users. Instagram 25K, which is also very important to build our wider and bigger community. And currently, last year we completed our pre-seed round of 3,000 euros, and now we are aiming for more to complete the seed round, to build to scale this product, and to build more engaged and more impressive community, to change our product into mobile app, and to give to receive more feedback from our users. Our core team is myself, who I'm a lawyer, and I worked in European Parliament, and since 4 years I'm also a mentor. My co-founder Karolina, who is also a certified mentor and author of various books for women, and product owner Maya, who worked for Coca-Cola, and Alexandra, head of community and partnerships, who worked in government before. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. We are now available in Poland, but we will definitely scale to Germany and Czech Republic then.
Thank you so much, Magdalena, for the amazing pitch, and also for your initiative. Her impact values certainly resonate with FoundHers, and together we try to build a better path for self-starter women everywhere. So again, thank you so much. If anyone wants to get in touch, we already know what to do. The poll will pop up, and you can just try to contact Magdalena via there. So this was actually our last pitch. So I would like to once again thank you for all the attendees for being with us until now. But FoundHer Day is not yet over. I would like to introduce, I'm actually very happy to introduce now our next part of our FoundHer Day, which will be the breakout sessions. We'll be having 2 very inspiring interactive sessions in parallel. This means that they will be at the same time. So please pick one that better suits you, and remember to go to the networking rooms afterwards, so we all can exchange some knowledge and some insights right there. So again, the sessions will be at the same time, so please pick the best one, the one that suits you. So first of all, I would like to introduce you to Susanna Scherer. She is the project and content lead from Grace, and we'll be sharing more about founders' values and company culture. Grace stands for Female Entrepreneurship, Empowerment, and Diversity. They empower women with startup ambitions, and they support them developing and implementing all their ideas. So a very interesting session right here. While Suzanne will be talking about transactional analysis, Google research on high-performing teams, and also give some exercises such as assessment exercises for us all to do, which means that the session will be highly interactive. So yeah, if you already like the sound of that, please join Suzanne on her breakout session. But we have also another one. Please, Jess, introducing it.
So the other breakout session that we'll be having will be hosted by Nina Vos, co-founder and COO of Female Founders, who will be sharing more about fundraising from VCs. Nina herself has been following female founders throughout their fundraising journey every single day, so she is really the best person to speak about this. Female Founders is a European market leader in driving gender diversity in tech and innovation, reaching over 45,000 people across Europe. They're on a mission to create equal opportunities for entrepreneurial women in the European tech and innovation ecosystem. Wow, Jessica, can I just say I'm really looking forward to these breakout sessions.
Exactly.
Where you can really get exclusive insights and get involved in a very intimate setting with these experts. So how can you join the breakout sessions? It's actually super simple and very straightforward. On the left-hand side bar, under stage, you'll find a button named Sessions. Simply click on that and you'll be able to view the 2 sessions that are happening in parallel. Select the one you'd like to participate in. And in order to participate actively in the discussion and pose questions directly to our speakers, simply click on the Share Audio and Video button. After the breakout sessions, we look forward to seeing you at the networking platform where we continue to make meaningful connections.
Thank you for that, Jess. So once again, thank you very much for attending, everyone. The event isn't over yet, so please join. Please take a couple of seconds now to choose which breakout session you're going to join. And I'm happy to remember you all that Munich Winter Summit is not over. Today was just day 0. Tomorrow we will have Brandon Retail Expo, followed by the InsurTech Expo, and finally on February 3rd, on Thursday, we'll have Startup Creosphere with all the Expo 7 to be more precise. So yeah, thank you again for all the collaboration, and let's join the breakout sessions.
See you at the breakout sessions.
See you all. Bye.